really early. How you doing, guys? Welcome back to another episode of me building something. This week I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be modding out a Nerf gun. Yeah, so I thought I'd come down and do something a little bit different. Well, not too different. I've always wanted to do something like this, and I think I may have said it on the channel before, or on the show before, but yeah, no, I've always wanted to pimp out something like this, and so far, it has the makings of a pretty cool gun. But basically, this is the pump action Nerf, the pump action Fortnite Nerf gun from the game, I assume. I've never played the game, just not really for me. I mean, so far, I'm not a huge fan of this piece just here. I don't know why they put the scope on top of this thing, which is the entire mechanism of the pump action, which doesn't really make any sense to me. Besides that, I mean, it is a game made for kids, so you take it with a grain of salt, I suppose. Like the predominant Fortnite logo on there, and the multiple other things that I'm going to have to scratch off with a rotary tool. Yeah, it has the makings of a pretty cool gun. I'm thinking I might go a little bit sci-fi, change up the color scheme a little bit. But yeah, all in all, I think this is going to be a pretty fun build. I think it'll only take me a day if I really work at it. So yeah, let's get into it. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to try and scratch off the Fortnite logo. The boring caution thing that they need to put on there, and I think I'll have to get rid of this Fortnite. I only just realized that, the Nerf at the back. And also I did notice before I was inspecting the gun that there is a person dabbing on the front, so that's gonna go. Jump in and do that now. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to use a 150 grit sandpaper to try and get off as much of this stuff as I possibly can. I don't know how much of it I'm going to get off. Let's give it a crack. Alright, so as you guys can see, I've given it a red hot crack with the sandpaper, and basically I've been able to get this part, I've been able to get the caution part and this part down smooth, so that's not a problem. I am having a problem with the Nerf and the Fortnite bit. I was able to get the paint off. The paint was not on there very strong, actually, so yeah, it's saying something. But besides that, I am going to, if I want to get this down smooth, now I could go get a Dremel tool, but they cost a bit of money, and I don't really feel like breaking the bank right now, so I think I might have to just sit here and get, I think, the higher grit sandpaper to really get it off. But then I was thinking about it, I was looking at the piece, itself, and I have some of these leftover bits from my last build, the Predator build, from the toy that I took apart. Now, what I could do to fill in the gaps so that it cuts down my minimal amount of sanding, what I could do, especially for this part right here where the caution bit was, I'm thinking I'm going to put this part right here, and it fits in pretty well. And I'm thinking I might make that kind of like a charging piece, so like the gun overheats and you press a button and it recharges really quickly. And then for the back, because I'm thinking I'm going to make it like a laser point, I'm going to make it like a laser guided gun as well. So what I'm thinking is this part, because it's a hollowed out piece right here, that was where the Nerf bullet would actually fire out from. So what I'm thinking is have this right here for like the laser guide, and then this piece on the back is kind of like a recharge piece, so if the gun overheats, well, theoretically speaking, if the gun overheated, you could just press this button and then it would recharge really quickly. And then for the scope, because I'm not really too keen on the scope up here, and this is from the other build as well, and this is from the Predator build as well. I was thinking they look really cool, so I might make them the scope. And there's a little, and it actually kind of works because there's a notch in there, and it fits in perfectly. It's almost ideal actually. So that's what I'm thinking so far. I'm probably going to have to do a little bit more sanding. The colors that I want to go for, I'm not 100% sure yet. I know for a fact that this piece just here, that's going. That's coming off. All right. I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, I'm good. While I'm doing this, I might as well go over the entire gun because the paint will stick better to the plastic if you sand it down. If you sand down the gun a tad, then when it's time to paint, the paint will stick a lot cleaner and it won't peel off. It will stick to the gun if it's lightly sanded. So, blow off all of the sanding. This is just like a pump that I bought just to get into the nooks and crannies of everything. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew this part, Gonna unscrew this part, take this off, paint that separately with the piece that I'm going to put on it, and I've decided I'm going to put this piece on it, and it'll look cool. I think it'll look cool. But first of all, I'll take this off. I've taken this part off, leaving that on the side. What I'm thinking is I tried to take this part off, but I didn't know how to without completely mucking up the springs. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to coat this in a coat this in a flat black paint. I'm going to mask off the red line up to about here. Here I'm going to make it brown. I'm going to mask this part off because I want that to be yellow. I want that to be a different color. Yeah, let's give it a crack, see how it goes. Hey, so unfortunately my camera died yesterday while I was recording, but I decided to go ahead with the paint job anyway because I wanted to get this done. And this is the first coat. This is the matte black coat. I've taped off this part because I want that to be grey. I want the pump action to be grey, and I've taped off, masked, and I've taped off this strip just here. Because there's a red strip that runs down the gun. I want that to be yellow, and then the butt of the gun, I want that to be brown. So now there was a bit of a muck around yesterday because I tried to take off the pump action, but I could only take off one side, and I didn't know how to take off the other side without mucking up the springs because I still wanted to have that firing. You know what I mean? And then as you can see, the part up here is gone. While I was trying to put everything back together, I just got the hacksaw and just cut it off. But yeah, besides that, I'm going to paint the other side of it now, let that dry, come back over it, and then, yeah, we'll do some more painting after that. Alright, sweet. That's better. Okay, so I'm really liking how this came out. It came out really nice, actually. There's a bit of gaffer tape left. You know, this is the first time I've done a gaff work and all that kind of stuff, like taping it all up, but I think it came out really nice. I'm gonna keep this part red, I'm gonna weather it with some black paint and water, and I'm gonna super glue this part, and I almost forgot, I'm going to paint, because this is yellow, so it's gonna give me a bit of an incentive to paint it. And it's actually going to give me a bit of an incentive to paint this part yellow as well, to kind of go with this bit. So, yeah. Ooh. Then I'm going to add this part on top as a scope. It just looks really cool, and I had it left over. And as kind of like a nozzle for the gun, I had a bit of PVC pipe left over from when I did my lightsaber build, and I like how it looks. Like that. But besides that, just gotta jump into it and just go at it. Really. Just do it. Just gonna go for it. Just gonna go. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's do this. Well, since I'm waiting for that to dry, I thought I'd take this time to shamelessly promote our YouTube channel. If you've made it this far into the video, and if you like what you see, hit the like, share, and subscribe button, because you know we could always use the extra followers, and we always like an extra viewer, someone who likes to watch our stuff. And if you like to listen to me and Jacob talk a lot of trash and about pop culture, you can listen to our podcast on Anchor, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, as well as you can catch it weekly on YouTube, and you can get all of that by simply clicking the subscribe button. So why don't you go ahead and do that now, and you can, and as well as seeing me attempt to make cool props, you can see all the other cool shows that will be coming up pretty soon. So why don't you do that? So far this is coming together pretty cool, if I do say so myself. I'm pretty happy with how it is now, but I think I can do more with it. As you saw from the last time-lapse video, I've super glued this on, and I've inserted a laser pointer so that the gun is laser pointed, and it also has a flashlight on there as well. Originally I wanted to have a flashlight here, but it was just too much of a muck around, and if you haven't realized by now, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just doing what I think would look cool. But so far, yeah, it's going pretty well. I think now I just got to make this strip yellow, and then add a piece on here. So yeah, good to go, I reckon. Sweet as. Okay, so I forgot to videotape the last bit, but basically what I did was I added a few more pieces to the gun. Let me turn it around. So I added a few more pieces to the gun. I've added a new nozzle onto the front of the gun. I added a scope on the top, and I added a laser pointer. It kind of looks like a barrel, not like an extra barrel. I might add something in here, I'm not 100% sure yet. But basically, I added this part because it does this cool thing, does this, it does that, and it does this. Give me a second. It does this. That is cool. And it does that too. It also has that kind of thing to it as well. So it's pretty awesome. And now that that's done, it's time to do my favorite part. It's something I've been looking forward to doing on this for a while now, and that is painting. And I'm going to paint the red stripe yellow. The next part of this video is just going to be a time lapse of me doing everything, so strap in. We are gonna do some stuff. Let's do this. Now I tried to paint the red lines yellow, just yellow, but I think it might have been the plastic and it wasn't really sticking to it. I think I got the wrong paint. And I tried to wipe it off and I tried to start again, but it went everywhere. And I thought, oh no, I've wrecked it. It's ruined. I've ruined my prop. But this is what it looks like actually. And you know what? I'm not that upset about it. I think that actually works. It's new. I've definitely never seen anybody weather a gun yellow. I think it actually works, and I thought I had to start over, but you know what? A mistake works, so run with it. I'm gonna do a few more things to the gun. But yeah, besides that, I almost fell over. But besides that, yeah, we're pretty much almost done with this thing. So yeah, let that dry for a bit. Finally done with the build. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So this is my Nerf gun, Fortnite pump action Nerf gun that I modded the way I wanted it to look. I think it looks pretty awesome. I love the black, the yellow, and the red really works together with the white. I've changed out the nozzle. I've added on a few extra pieces. Like for example, I added this on from my last, it was left over from my last build. I added a new scope on as well. I added in a laser and I added in a flashlight. And it also strobes as well. So that's pretty awesome. It gives me a leg up when I want to have a Nerf gun war. I've also added a few more detailing with some silver paint to go along the edges. I've added a bit of an extra grip. I've added some lead or some fabric that I got from Spotlight that was also left over from my last build. I put that around the handle of the gun just to kind of just to make it look a little bit more cooler. And you know, besides that, there wasn't really that much stuff I did with it. I made a few mistakes along the way, but I just went with it. And you know what? I'm sure there are going to be some people out there who's going to say, oh, this doesn't look that great. You did this wrong. You could do this better. You could do this better. It's like, there are a lot of ways that you could modify a Nerf gun, but this is the way I want to do it, and I think it looks pretty badass. And it's something I can put on the shelf behind me with my other props that I'm going to make. You know what? I had fun doing it. It brought me joy. It brought me happiness. And you know what? I like it. It's pretty badass. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed watching this because I thoroughly enjoyed doing this. I thought it was a really fun, creative build. Always want to do something like this, and I'm probably going to do it again. I learned a lot from doing this build. What paints to use, what works, what glue works with what plastics and all this kind of stuff. So I've learned quite a bit from this. But I think this was a pretty good first attempt for modifying a Nerf gun. If you guys liked what you saw and you want to see more of it, why don't you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Follow us, follow Real Talk. You can see more of our stuff. You can see more of me building stuff. You can see more of our other shows that we're going to be bringing out soon. Until then, guys, keep it real, stay sexy, and as always, we'll see you next time. Laters. Wait, I want to have a Nerf gun war with this thing.